So you ever, been driving a long distance? Maybe you drive a long distance to go to work. It's a routine. And then you start to nod off. And you're like, oh, you're falling asleep at the wheel. Because you're in autopilot. Everything you're doing is in autopilot. That's how I was, man. That's how I was in my life. I had this job I really loved. It was an awesome job. I was a big fish in a small pond. Had worked my way up into an executive position. Had a lot of responsibility. Had a great group of people that I worked with, both in colleagues and the people under me that worked for me. It was just great. Everything was great. Making great money. I had security, job security, financial security. Everything was great. So I was on autopilot. I didn't have any ambitions to move up because I was basically as high as I could go. The only higher I could go would be a CFO, which I don't know nothing about accounting, or to be the president, which the president was the owner. So it's not like his position was coming open anytime soon. So I was, like third, fourth on the totem pole type of thing. But I was happy. Everything was great. And I was on autopilot. No ambitions. But I would notice people, especially guys that worked under me, that would leave and they'd go on to do bigger and better things. And when they would come to tell me that they're leaving, give me their notice, I would be shocked. Like, why? This is a great job, man. You're making lots of money. This is a stable job, man. We got all these contracts. We got all this stuff. Like, we're booked out. Why would you leave this? And then I never understood that the whole time because I was on autopilot. I was asleep at the wheel. I call it sleepwalking through life when you're not really noticing anything that's going on. I don't know if you've ever been in that situation. Maybe you're in that situation right now. But the catalyst is what woke me up. There was a big catalyst. And at that time, the big catalyst was 2008 when the market crashed. It was the housing market crisis. And banks started calling in loans. And they called in the loan of the company that I worked for. And all of a sudden, we were super busy. We had all these contracts. And everything came to a stop. And my financial stability, my career, everything stopped. And I realized at that point, I've been on autopilot. I didn't have my hands on the wheel. And the people that had their hands on the wheel, they weren't driving the way that I would have drove. And so things happened. Some of it was out of control of even the president of the company. Something was, because he wasn't in full control. He was kind of on autopilot too. And it was a big wake-up call for me. And I know a lot of people went through that in 2020, the Great Disruption, the COVID crisis, when everybody lost their jobs, everything came to a halt. I made it through that because I was already prepared, because I had learned my lessons. I had learned how to get my life off of autopilot, be able to start achieving my personal impossibles, be able to start doing the things that I wanted to do because I had to. Because I realized there is no real financial security. There's no job security unless you take control of your finances and you take control of your career, which meant I had to take control of my natural talents and my skills and learn how to apply them to different areas, to different ways of making money, to be able to apply them and make them attractive for other companies that want to work with me, for clients that want to work with me, for people that want to learn what I knew. And if you're in that situation now, you can learn how to do this. It's not easy, but there's a method, there's a way to be able to do it. And I have a workshop, Create the GPS for Your Success, where we really dive deep into that, dive deep into how to take your natural talents and apply them to the thing that you want to do, how to build up the confidence to be able to do the thing that you want to do, and then how to structure it so it becomes more than just a goal. It becomes your GPS for success. It becomes your North Star. It becomes a thing that helps you get through the hurdles and helps you push past the obstacles and the setbacks that you run into when you're learning something new that you've never done before, and you start to run into the surprises, the things that you didn't know you were going to run into. So that's what that whole workshop was about. And it's really about helping people to get their hands back on that wheel, so you can start taking charge of your life, so that you're not just living on autopilot. Because it's so